Hey everybody, it's Glenn back with another Clash Royale analysis video. This one was really it was a win. I'll tell you right now, it was a win. But there's really one point about this match that I thought was unique, and that's what I want to share with you today, because it wasn't about really how the game progressed toward the end that we sealed the victory. It was really about the beginning. So here, let me show you what happened. So here is my opening hand. I'm using the traditional deck that I've used for about a year and a half now, which is Cannon Cart, Mortar, Tombstone, Goblin Hut, Tesla Zap, Inferno Tower, and Fireball. But you see here in the beginning, this is our opening hand. We have nothing, really. And so that's the whole point of this video today. It is me explaining kind of some tips about what to do when you really get a bad hand. And ideally, you don't want to have a Clash Royale deck where you have this type of opening where you're kind of wondering what to do. You know, ideally, you want to have something you could do in the very beginning of games. So I wrote down 3 things that can work for you as you think about what to do in this situation. Let's say you have a bad hand. So the first thing you do is you say, play your worst card. So in my case, really the worst card I have is Zap. But I really don't want to play Zap, because then that tells my opponent, okay, really I don't have anything. So what you could do, and this is what I did in the game here, is you can wait until your opponent plays. Now by doing that, it could be 2 minutes, it could be 2 minutes and 30 seconds that pass, but you just wait until your opponent plays and then you do something. So I saw that my opponent dropped a Tesla, and so I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe my opponent doesn't have anything. And so we're just kind of stuck in this limbo situation where there's really nothing for any of us to do. So that is another option as well. You can just wait until your opponent plays and then you play something, and then it acts like, okay, I'm doing something because you did something, and then I'm waiting for them to make the next move, and then I do something, and then finally the deck will cycle around to where you actually have something. You can actually start playing your lineup the way you want. So now in this case here, I do have a Cannon Cart, but I like to have a Cannon Cart as the gotcha card. That's the card where I say, like, okay, there's no way you're stopping it. I'm just gonna roll it out, and it's going to take down the tower. In this situation, I'm thinking, okay, the left side's open. Why don't I just throw it there? But I really didn't want to do that, so I just wanted to wait again. Let's get to 10 and let's see what happens. Now, in the case of my opponent, they had plenty of options to do something, because they had a giant and Rage and Valkyrie. They could have really crawled them out at the same time. That Fireball, I'll get to in a second, but they really could have brought out Giant first, then Valkyrie as protection, or Valkyrie first and then Giant, and really could have put pressure on me to do something, but they didn't. So I think it was a lost opportunity on their part to really get a chance to win this game. So they dropped the Fireball on the Cannon Cart, and I was thinking, okay, that's fine, because I had Goblin Hut, and now I can really build towards something, toward a win here. So Goblin Hut is safe unless they have Mirror, which they didn't. And so now I'm just like, okay, all right, let's just build, let's just see what they have, and then we react, or we can keep building. So I have a Tombstone here. They bring out Executioner. And then here comes Giant, which I'm thinking, okay, we'll put Tesla in the center. Let's hope they don't have Zap. They do. Okay, that's fine, but I have Tesla again. So I wanted Tesla to really focus on the Executioner, not on stopping the Giant. I was fine with the Giant, because the Giant was going to go down to the Tombstone anyways. So I wanted the Tesla to focus on the Executioner. That happened. Perfect. That's a good trade, because it's a 5 to a 4. They bring Valkyrie again. I want to show Cannon Cart again. But I want to show Cannon Cart on the right side, because I want to squeeze as much out of the Goblin Hut as possible. So if I put Cannon Cart on the left center, like I did earlier in this game, then they just drop the Fireball, and I lose an opportunity to get probably one more Spear Goblin out of that hut. So I want to show it on the right side. They go after Cannon Cart, and I get that last Spear Goblin, which is what I want. Even if I lose, I just want to have it. And you see here, they didn't do anything. So we get free shots in. They bring in Tesla, which I thought was a really bad positioning of the Tesla. They wasted 4, and now I am way in an advantage here. And so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, there's really nothing else. We've survived that beginning. So the last part I want to say about this, as we as we continue on, is the third tip I had in terms of if you get a bad hand start. You could play your best card as if you normally would in a normal hand. If you just think of it as a normal hand, you play your best card, and then you go for it. For me, in that situation, that beginning was the fireball. I could have just dropped the fireball on the tower. I mean, and it would have acted like, okay, I'm just cycling. But I really didn't want to. I just, in that case, I just want to play passive. So really, this rest of the game was kind of. I don't know. It was just kind of there. You know, we set up both defensive towers toward the middle. They really didn't have anything. They were just dropping fireballs. They didn't have anything for the Cannon Cart. Although they did have Witch. They never brought out Witch, I don't believe. And really, they just didn't have an answer for the Cannon Cart. I brought on Mortard. It didn't get touched. And this is really just a pretty much simple finish toward the end. They decide to drop cards just to have fun. To stop me from getting through counts, but I really didn't care. You know, just wanted to get the win. They do that. They had Rage. So, I think a lot of this, they did have an opportunity to do something, but they just never really did anything. I think they were more of a reactionary type of player. And that's fine. You know, you'll encounter a lot of reactionary type players when you play Clash Royale, because it's a tower defense game. You know, you have to play defense. It's the main part of it. But I think if my opponent knew that I didn't have anything in the beginning, they probably would have played more aggressive. They would have dropped that Giant and Valkyrie right in the beginning with Rage and make me really get worried. Although we did have all the defense in the world to stop that, but I would have had to be on high alert for that attack. So I just want to recap again. If you do get a really bad hand, like almost an unplayable hand to start, obviously you do want to have your lineup to be as playable as possible. You want to have your 8 cards set up the best way to at least get to the point where you can play it. But if you do get a really, really bad hand to start, the 3 tips I have is you can just play your worst card. So like in the case of this, I had Zap. I could have just played that. You can wait until your opponent plays, and that could be 1 minute gone, minute and 30 gone, 2 minutes gone, 2 minutes, 30 seconds gone. You just wait until your opponent plays, and then, you go for it. And the third thing you could do is you could just play your best card as you would if it was a normal hand, and you just cycle through until, you finally get the lineup that the setup that you want, and then you could just play, and hopefully you're not either trailing by then or doing something, you're like fighting for your life. So hopefully these 3 tips help you as you move up in the ranks in Clash Royale. I know this game wasn't really fantastic, but it was just really unique because I had really of the hundreds of games I play probably every month, I get that hand probably once a month. So it really tests you, when you get a bad hand to start. It's like, okay, what do you do? So hopefully these tips help you out as you play. Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.